Welcome to the basics of biology and introduction. In this video, we will explore the fascinating world of biology and its importance in our lives. Biology is the study of living organisms and their interactions with the environment. It is a vast field that encompasses everything from the smallest microorganisms to the largest animals and plants. Show a montage of different living organisms, including bacteria, fungi, plants, and animals. The study of biology is essential for understanding the world around us. It helps us understand how living organisms function, how they interact with each other and their environment, and how they evolve over time. Show examples of how biology is used in everyday life, such as medicine, agriculture, and environmental conservation. Biology is a constantly evolving field, with new discoveries and advancements being made every day. It is a field that requires curiosity, critical thinking, and a passion for understanding the natural world. Show scientists conducting experiments and researching in a laboratory setting. In this video, we will cover the basics of biology, including the characteristics of living organisms, the levels of organization in living systems, and the scientific method used to study biology. Show a diagram of the levels of organization in living systems, from cells to ecosystems. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of biology and explore the basics of this incredible field. One of the fundamental concepts in biology is the characteristics of living organisms. There are several characteristics that all living organisms share, which distinguish them from non-living things. Show a diagram of the characteristics of living organisms, including organization, metabolism, growth and development, response to stimuli, reproduction, and adaptation. The first characteristic is organization. Living organisms are highly organized, with complex structures and systems that allow them to carry out their functions. Show examples of the organization of living organisms, such as cells, tissues, organs, and organ systems. The second characteristic is metabolism. Living organisms require energy to carry out their functions, and they obtain this energy through metabolism, which involves the breakdown of nutrients to release energy. Show examples of metabolism in living organisms, such as photosynthesis in plants and cellular respiration in animals. The third characteristic is growth and development. Living organisms grow and develop over time, from a single cell to a fully formed organism. Show examples of growth and development in living organisms, such as the growth of a seed into a plant or the development of a fetus into a baby. The fourth characteristic is response to stimuli. Living organisms can sense and respond to changes in their environment, such as light, temperature, and sound. Show examples of response to stimuli in living organisms, such as a plant growing towards a light source or an animal moving away from a predator. The fifth characteristic is reproduction. Living organisms can reproduce, passing on their genetic material to their offspring. Show examples of reproduction in living organisms, such as the mating of animals or the pollination of plants. The final characteristic is adaptation. Living organisms can adapt to their environment over time, allowing them to survive and thrive in changing conditions. Show examples of adaptation in living organisms, such as the evolution of camouflage in animals or the development of drought-resistant plants. These characteristics are essential for understanding the nature of living organisms and their interactions with the environment. Show a summary of the characteristics of living organisms. In the next segment, we will explore the levels of organization in living systems. Living organisms are organized into different levels, each with its own unique characteristics and functions. Understanding these levels of organization is essential for understanding the complexity of living systems. Show a diagram of the levels of organization in living systems, from cells to ecosystems. First level of organization is the cell. Cells are the basic unit of life, and all living organisms are made up of one or more cells. Show examples of different types of cells, such as animal cells, plant cells, and bacterial cells. The second level of organization is the tissue. Tissues are groups of cells that work together to perform a specific function. Show examples of different types of tissues, such as muscle tissue, nervous tissue, and connective tissue. The third level of organization is the organ. Organs are groups of tissues that work together to perform a specific function. Show examples of different types of organs, such as the heart, lungs, and brain. The fourth level of organization is the organ system. Organ systems are groups of organs that work together to perform a specific function. Show examples of different types of organ systems, such as the digestive system, respiratory system, and nervous system. The fifth level of organization is the organism. An organism is a complete living system made up of all the levels of organization, from cells to organ systems. Show examples of different types of organisms, such as animals, plants, and fungi. Sixth level of organization is the population. A population is a group of organisms of the same species living in the same area. Show examples of different populations, such as a herd of deer or a group of birds. The seventh level of organization is the community. A community is a group of populations living in the same area and interacting with each other. Show examples of different communities, such as a forest ecosystem or a coral reef ecosystem. The final level of organization is the ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community of living organisms and their physical environment. Show examples of different ecosystems, such as a desert ecosystem or a freshwater ecosystem. Understanding the levels of organization in living systems is essential for understanding how living organisms interact with each other and their environment. Show a summary of the levels of organization in living systems. In the next segment, we will explore the scientific method used to study biology. The scientific method is a systematic approach used to study and understand the natural world. It is a process that involves observation, hypothesis formation, experimentation, and analysis. Show a diagram of the scientific method, including the steps of observation, hypothesis formation, experimentation, and analysis. The first step in the scientific method is observation. Scientists observe and gather data about the natural world, using their senses and instruments to collect information. Show examples of observation in biology, such as observing the behavior of animals or the growth of plants. The second step is hypothesis formation. Based on their observations, scientists develop a hypothesis, which is a tentative explanation for the observed phenomenon. Show examples of hypothesis formation in biology, such as hypothesizing that a certain plant will grow better in a certain type of soil. The third step is experimentation. Scientists design and conduct experiments to test their hypothesis, using controlled conditions and variables to ensure accurate results. Show examples of experimentation in biology, such as conducting a study on the effects of a certain drug on a group of animals. The fourth step is analysis. Scientists analyze the data collected from their experiments, using statistical methods and other tools to draw conclusions about their hypothesis. Show examples of analysis in biology, such as analyzing the data from a study to determine the effectiveness of a certain treatment. The final step is communication. Scientists communicate their findings to the scientific community and the public, through publications, presentations, and other means. Show examples of communication in biology, such as publishing a research paper or presenting findings at a scientific conference. The scientific method is a powerful tool for understanding the natural world, and it is essential for the study of biology. Show a summary of the scientific method in biology. In the final segment, we will summarize what we have learned about the basics of biology and its importance in our lives. In this video, we had explored the basics of biology and its importance in our lives. We have learned about the characteristics of living organisms, the levels of organization in living systems, and the scientific method used to study biology. Show a summary of the key concepts covered in the video. Biology is a vast field that encompasses everything from the smallest microorganisms to the largest animals and plants. It is a constantly evolving field, with new discoveries and advancements being made every day. Show examples of the diversity of life on Earth, from bacteria to whales. Understanding biology is essential for understanding the world around us, from the food we eat to the medicines we take to the ecosystems we depend on. Show examples of how biology is used in everyday life, such as in medicine, agriculture, and environmental conservation. We hope that this video has given you a glimpse into the fascinating world of biology and its importance in our lives. Show a final summary of the key concepts covered in the video. Thank you for watching the basics of biology and introduction.